Ladies and gentlemen, gather close today. We talk about a thing as old as time, the silent, creeping consequence of betrayal. They thought they could play with fire. They thought they could dance with the devil and come out unscathed. They believed they could ignore the warning signs, the cracks beneath their feet, and still walk away unharmed. They were wrong. They were always wrong, because the thing about betrayal is this. It doesn't come with mercy. It doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't wait for the right moment. It just happens. And when it does, it changes everything. It shifts the ground beneath you and throws you into the darkness with nothing to hold on to. They thought they could handle it. They thought they could escape the consequences of their actions. But they were mistaken, because this is no ordinary pain. This is no fleeting discomfort. This is the kind of suffering that builds slowly over time. It lingers, it festers, it grows, and before they even realize it, they've been consumed by it, and now they stand at the edge of their own downfall, ready to give up already. But their painful suffering has just begun. They have already begun to feel it in their bones. The unease, the gnawing sense of impending doom, the creeping shadow that follows them wherever they go, the whispers in their mind reminding them of the damage they've caused, reminding them that they have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. They thought that the pain would come to an end, that after the storm passed they could rebuild their lives, but they don't understand. They don't know what's coming for them. They don't know what happens to people who betray others without remorse, without consideration for the consequences. There is no easy way out, no simple fix, and no amount of time will heal what has been broken, because the deeper the betrayal, the longer the scar, the sharper the wound, and they will carry that wound with them for the rest of their days. They thought they could bury the truth beneath layers of lies and deceit, but truth has a way of coming to the surface, no matter how deep you bury it, no matter how hard you try to hide from it, because truth is relentless. Truth is the one thing that will always find its way back to you, and when it does, it will crush you. It will destroy everything you thought you knew about yourself, and everything you thought you could get away with. They thought they could outrun their past, but there is no escape from yourself. No matter how far you run, no matter how fast you try to flee, the truth is always there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to catch up with you. And when it does, it will make you pay. It will drag you down into the very hell you thought you could avoid, and you will have no choice but to face the consequences of your actions. This is the reality they are about to face, the reality they've been trying so hard to deny and ignore. But there is no more running. There is no more pretending that everything will be okay. There is no more pretending that the damage they've caused can be undone, because it can't. They will never be able to undo what has been done to the people they've betrayed, and the damage will never truly be repaired. It will never be forgotten. It will never be forgiven. They will have to live with the knowledge that they've destroyed something beautiful. They've destroyed someone's trust, someone's hope, someone's belief in the goodness of humanity. And once you destroy that, you can never rebuild it, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much time passes. The damage is irreversible, and as the days drag on, they will begin to feel the weight of their actions more and more. They will begin to feel the isolation, the loneliness, the emptiness that comes with betrayal, because that's the price you pay. When you burn bridges you cannot cross back over, when you leave people in the dust, when you tear apart the very fabric of someone's soul, the loneliness will be unbearable. It will consume them from the inside out, until they are nothing but a hollow shell of the person they once were, and they will try to fill that void with distractions. They will try to fill it with substances or false relationships. But nothing will ever truly numb the pain. Nothing will ever truly make them forget, because the pain is not something they can escape from. It is a part of them now. It is a part of who they are, and they will carry it with them for the rest of their lives. They will try to move on. They will try to convince themselves that they're okay, that they're better off without the people they've hurt. But deep down, they will know the truth. Deep down, they will feel the weight of their own betrayal, and it will eat away at them, slowly, bit by bit, until there is nothing left but a hollow shell of the person they once were. And when they finally realize what they've lost, when they finally understand the full scope of the damage they've caused, it will be too late, because the consequences of their actions will have already caught up with them, and there will be no turning back. There will be no way to undo the harm they've done. There will be no way to fix the damage they've caused. They thought they could walk away from this untouched. They thought they could simply let go of the past and move on with their lives. But that's not how it works, because the past is never truly gone. It follows you. It stays with you. It becomes a part of who you are. And no matter how hard you try to bury it or forget it, the past will always find a way to remind you of what you've done. And when it does, it will hit you harder than you ever imagined. It will crush you under its weight, and you will finally understand the true meaning of regret. And when the weight of their actions finally breaks them, when the truth finally sinks in, when the full scope of their betrayal becomes clear, they will understand that this pain is not something they can escape. From this suffering is not something they can outrun. There is no way to undo what's been done. There is no way to take back the harm they've caused, the people they've hurt, the lives they've shattered, and they will have to live with that knowledge for the rest of their days. They will have to live with the knowledge that they've betrayed everything they've ever loved, everything they've ever cared about, and there is no way to fix it. There is no way to make it right. They thought they could get away with it. They thought they could walk away without consequence. But now, they are learning the hard way that betrayal comes at a price. And that price is higher than they ever imagined, because the consequences of their actions are not just external. They are internal as well. The guilt, the shame, the regret will eat away at them from the inside out, and no matter how much time passes, no matter how much they try to forget, it will always be there. It will always haunt them, reminding them of the person they used to be and the person they will never be again. They will try to rebuild their lives. They will try to convince themselves that they can move on. But deep down, they will know the truth. Deep down, they will know that the damage is done, and nothing can ever bring it back. No amount of time, no amount of effort can ever erase the scar of betrayal, because once you've crossed that line, there is no going back. There is no coming out unscathed, and for the rest of their days, they will carry that burden with them. They will carry the weight of their choices and the knowledge that they are not the same person they once were, and that they never will be again. This is the price of betrayal. This is the price they must pay, and there is no mercy. There is no forgiveness. There is no way out, because they have already crossed the point of no return, and now they must face the consequences of their actions, no matter how painful, no matter how crushing, no matter how long it takes. They will suffer, and they will remember every single moment of their betrayal for the rest of their days. You see, the true nature of betrayal is not something you can simply escape from, not something you can just leave behind as you move forward in life. No, it stains you. It engraves itself on your soul in a way that cannot be undone. The deepest scars are often not the ones you can see, but the ones that are buried deep inside, hidden from the world, festering quietly in the depths of your consciousness. They will live with this betrayal for the rest of their days. It will seep into every action, every thought, and every step they take, like an invisible force that constantly reminds them of their darkest moments. In the beginning, they may try to justify it. They may convince themselves that it wasn't as bad as it seemed, that the damage was minimal, that everyone will eventually move on. But deep down, they know. They know the depth of their actions, and no matter how many lies they tell themselves, the truth remains. The truth is like a shadow that follows them, a presence that they cannot escape. It is there when they sleep, haunting their dreams with images of what they have done, and it is there when they wake, a bitter taste in their mouths, an unshakable weight on their chest. Every time they look into someone's eyes, they will see the reflection of what they have lost. They will see the trust they shattered, the loyalty they betrayed, the love they so carelessly discarded. And it will hurt. It will hurt because they know they cannot repair the damage they've caused. They cannot undo what has been done. The people they have hurt, the ones who once believed in them, will never be the same again. Their hearts will be scarred forever, and the relationship that once existed between them will never return to its original form. They may try to make amends. They may seek forgiveness, beg for a second chance. But deep down, they know that forgiveness doesn't come easily, especially when it is earned through manipulation, deceit, and lies. Forgiveness isn't some gift that can be handed out on demand. It isn't something that can be bartered for or negotiated. It is earned through genuine remorse, through a willingness to face the truth, to take responsibility for one's actions, and to endure the consequences without expectation of reprieve. And even then, forgiveness is not a guarantee. The real challenge comes not in seeking forgiveness, but in confronting the mirror. The mirror that reflects the person they have become, the person shaped by their choices. For every betrayal, there is a transformation, and that transformation is not always a positive one. The person they once were, the one full of hope, full of integrity, full of trust, is now tainted. It is gone. And they will never be able to return to that version of themselves. The betrayal has changed them, and it has irreversibly altered their path. They will try to ignore the emptiness inside, the nagging sense of loss, but it will always be there, lurking beneath the surface. In moments of quiet, when the world slows down, and there is no distraction to shield them, the truth will resurface. The guilt will gnaw at them, tearing apart any illusion of peace they once had. They will struggle with themselves, torn between wanting to escape the consequences and knowing that they must face them head on. They may try to drown out the pain with distractions, with alcohol, with fleeting relationships, with superficial achievements, but nothing will ever fill the void left by betrayal. The emptiness will be a constant companion, one that no amount of external success can ever touch. In their attempts to find solace, they may turn to others. They may reach out to those they've hurt, desperately trying to reclaim what they've lost. But the truth is, it will never be the same. The bond that once existed will be broken, and while they may receive surface-level forgiveness, the depth of what they've done will never be forgotten. It will always hang in the air between them, an unspoken barrier, a wall that cannot be breached. The people they've betrayed will move forward, yes, but they will move forward with caution. They will carry the weight of that betrayal in their hearts, just as the betrayer carries it in theirs. The damage is done, and it cannot be undone. The betrayer will begin to see the world differently. They will notice how fragile trust truly is, how delicate human relationships can be, and how easily they can be shattered by a single moment of weakness or selfishness. The world will no longer look the same. They will see betrayal in the faces of others, in their actions, in their words, and they will feel a deeper sense of mistrust creeping into their own heart. They will never again be able to fully open themselves up to others, for fear that they too will betray them, just as they betrayed those who once trusted them. It will be a cycle of fear, a constant battle between the desire to trust and the knowledge that betrayal is always a possibility. And then there's the loneliness, Betrayal creates a rift between the betrayer and the world. It isolates them, even when they are surrounded by people. They may have a smile on their face, they may engage in casual conversations, but deep down, they know they are alone. The bonds they once had with others are severed, and the connections they try to make are built on a foundation of lies and deceit. They will never again experience the fullness of genuine, unguarded relationships. They will always be looking over their shoulder, wondering when the next betrayal will come, wondering when their actions will catch up with them. The loneliness will become their constant companion. It will seep into their every moment, like a poison that dulls the joy of life, and they will try to ignore it. They will try to mask it with distractions, but it will always be there, gnawing away at them from the inside. They will try to convince themselves that they are better off alone, that they don't need anyone else. But the truth is, they will always need others. Humans are not meant to live in isolation. We are social creatures, wired for connection, and when that connection is broken, something inside us dies. The betrayer will feel that death, the slow and painful disintegration of their own humanity. Over time, they may begin to see the consequences of their betrayal in the lives of others. The people they hurt, the ones they betrayed, will move on, but they will move on in a way that is forever changed. The hurt may not always be visible, but it will be there, just beneath the surface. The scars will remain, and the betrayer will have to live with the knowledge that they were the cause of that pain. They will see the lives of those they hurt, and they will realize that they have stolen something from them, something irreplaceable. They may never know the full extent of the damage they've caused, but they will know enough to understand that the cost of betrayal is far higher than they ever imagined. The impact of their actions will echo throughout their lives, reverberating in ways they never expected. Opportunities that once seemed endless will start to dry up. People will start to distance themselves, to close themselves off, and the betrayer will find themselves increasingly isolated, rejected by those who once supported them. It is a cruel and harsh reality, but it is the reality they have created. They may try to blame the world, blame the people they've hurt, blame anyone but themselves, but deep down, they know the truth. They know that they are the architects of their own downfall. And as time passes, the betrayer will grow weary. They will grow tired of pretending, tired of running from the consequences, tired of fighting against the truth. The weight of their actions will begin to wear on them, and they will feel the suffocating pressure of guilt, regret, and shame. The truth will become undeniable, and they will be forced to face it. They will have to reckon with the person they have become, and they will have to live with the knowledge that they cannot undo what has been done. They will be left with nothing but the harsh reality of their choices and the suffering they have caused. In the end, they will understand that the consequences of betrayal are not just external, not just in the form of broken relationships or lost opportunities. The consequences are internal, deep within the soul. The guilt, the shame, the regret. These are the true costs of betrayal, and they will carry these costs with them for the rest of their days. There will be no escaping it, no way to outrun it, no way to pretend it isn't there. It will be a constant, ever-present reminder of what they have lost and what they have done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true horror of betrayal. It is not just the pain it causes to others, but the way it changes you, the way it eats away at your very soul, the way it isolates you from everything you once held dear. You will never escape it, you will never outrun it, and you will live with it for the rest of your days. There is no escaping the truth, no hiding from the consequences of what you've done. You will try to move on. You will try to bury it deep within the recesses of your mind, but it will always be there. It will follow you like a shadow that stretches across the walls of your thoughts, ever present, never letting you forget the depths of your betrayal. The truth will always find its way to the surface, no matter how many layers you try to pile on top of it. It will claw its way through the walls you build around it and force you to confront the ugliness you've created. At first, it may seem like a distant echo, something you can push aside with relative ease. But the longer you live with it, the more it settles into your bones. Every relationship you try to form, every new interaction you engage in, will be tainted by the knowledge of what you've done. You can no longer look at the world the same way. The innocence you once had, the trust you once offered so freely, will be lost forever. You have opened a door that cannot be closed, and now, as much as you may wish for a way out, you will never be able to undo the damage. It will eat away at you slowly, methodically, until all that remains is a hollow version of the person you once were. Every day, you will find new ways to deal with it. You will distract yourself with work, with meaningless relationships, with empty pleasures. You will tell yourself that you are moving forward, that you are somehow building a new life, but deep down, you know that you are just running from the truth, running from the guilt, running from the weight of the mistakes you've made. The more you run, the heavier the burden becomes. You cannot outrun what you have done, because it is within you, wrapped around your soul, etched into every memory, every thought, every action, and it will remain with you until the end of your days. You will look into the faces of others, and you will see something different now. The trust they give you, the faith they have in you, will feel foreign. You will know, deep down, that you don't deserve it. You will see their expectations, their hopes for you, and you will feel unworthy of them. They will see the person they want to see, the person you pretend to be, but underneath the surface, you will know the truth. You will know that you are nothing more than a liar, a deceiver, someone who has betrayed the very people who trusted you, and that realization will tear at you from the inside out. You will wonder how you ever thought you could hide from it, how you ever thought you could go on living a normal life when you know the depths of what you have done. But the damage doesn't stop with you. No, the consequences of betrayal ripple outward, affecting everyone and everything you touch. You may think that your actions are isolated, that they only impact the people directly involved, but you are mistaken. When you betray someone, you fracture the world around them. You take away their peace, their security, their sense of stability. And that is not something that can ever be repaired. They will carry the scar of your betrayal with them, just as you carry yours, but their suffering will be different. You will never truly understand the full impact of what you have done to them. You may see the hurt in their eyes, the way they recoil from you, but you will never be able to undo the damage, and that knowledge will torment you. You will never be able to put things right. The fractures you have caused will remain forever. As the days drag on, the guilt will begin to suffocate you. You will look at yourself in the mirror and see a stranger staring back at you. The person you were before the betrayal, the one who lived with integrity, who believed in the goodness of others, will be gone. You will no longer recognize the person in the reflection. You will wonder what happened to the person you once were, the one who had values, who cared about the people around them. You will realize that you have become someone unrecognizable, someone who has forsaken everything they once stood for. The betrayal will slowly erode your sense of self, and you will find yourself wondering who you even are anymore. You will wish you could go back to that time, that moment before everything fell apart, when you still had the chance to make things right. But you can't. The past is gone. The damage is done. And you will live with it for the rest of your days. At times, you may feel the urge to explain yourself. You may want to justify your actions, to convince yourself and others that you had reasons, that there were circumstances beyond your control that led you to betray. But in the end, it doesn't matter. The truth is, no matter how much you try to explain it, you will always know that betrayal is betrayal. There is no excuse. There is no valid reason for tearing down the trust and the love someone has placed in you. And deep down, you will know that no amount of explaining will change the fact that you have hurt someone in the deepest possible way. The guilt will eat away at you, and you will come to realize that there is no way to take it back. No words, no actions, no attempts at redemption will undo the fact that you have betrayed them, and so you will try to fill the emptiness inside with other things. You will try to convince yourself that you can move forward, that you can find happiness again, but it will never feel the same. There will always be something missing. The joy you once experienced will feel hollow, and the successes you achieve will feel meaningless. You will find yourself chasing after things that don't matter, trying to fill the void left by the betrayal, but nothing will ever truly satisfy you. You will try to tell yourself that you are fine, that life will go on, but deep inside, you will know the truth. You will know that nothing can ever be the same again. The weight of your actions will hang over you like a storm cloud, always threatening to rain down on your life. And yet, despite all of this, life will go on. The world will continue to spin, and people will continue to live their lives. The people you have betrayed will move forward as best as they can, though they will never forget what you did. You may never see the full extent of their suffering, the ways in which your actions have affected them. You will never know how deep the pain runs, how many nights they lie awake, wondering why they trusted you in the first place. You will never know the depth of the wounds you've inflicted, but you will feel them nonetheless. They will become a part of you, etched into your soul, a constant reminder of the damage you've done. Over time, the reality of betrayal will begin to settle in. You will realize that the past can never be erased, that the scars it leaves are permanent. You will understand that you are forever marked by what you've done, and you will begin to accept that there is no going back. The remorse you feel will become a part of your daily existence, and you will come to understand that you will never be free of it. You may try to pretend, you may try to act as though everything is fine, but you will always carry the weight of your actions with you. And as you grow older, as time marches on, you will look back and reflect on the life you could have had, the relationships you could have built, the trust you could have maintained. You will see the opportunities you squandered, the people you pushed away, and the life you destroyed with your own hands, and you will wonder if it was worth it. You will wonder what could have been if only you had made a different choice. But by then, it will be too late. The life you had is gone. The person you were is gone, and you will live with the consequences for the rest of your days. You see, betrayal is not just a moment in time. It is not something you can sweep under the rug and forget about. It is something that stays with you, something that becomes a part of who you are. And once you have betrayed, once you have crossed that line, there is no going back. You will carry it with you, always, and the weight of it will grow heavier as the years go by, as you realize more and more the depth of the pain you've caused. There will be no escaping it, no way to outrun it. It will be with you for the rest of your days. In the end, betrayal leaves a permanent mark on both the betrayer and the betrayed. It creates scars that time cannot heal and burdens that cannot be cast aside. No matter how much you may wish to forget, the consequences will follow you, etched into your soul and your actions. You cannot undo the damage once it is done. And as you move through life, you will carry the weight of those choices, unable to escape the truth. The price of betrayal is steep, and it is paid in full for for the rest of your days.